Hello and welcome back to Black Cinema Reviews.
And action.
After writing a soon-to-be best-selling novel, Harper Stewart is then called to be the best man at his friend's wedding. But when an advanced copy of his book makes its way to the groom, it has major effects on the big day. If you couldn't tell by that synopsis or the title of this video, yes, we are reviewing The Best Man. Written and directed by my man Malcolm D. Lee. In his directorial debut, by the way, the original title for this was actually supposed to be My Homeboy's Wedding, which personally I hated and I'm happy they changed. Malcolm would actually later be best known not only for this movie, but many other iconic black films, and just to name a few, Undercover Brother, Girls Trip, and his most recent film, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Starring Morris Chestnut as Lance Sullivan, Taye Diggs as Harper Stewart, Nia Long as Jordan Armstrong, Sanaya Lathan as Robin, Terrence Howard as Quentin, Harold Perrineau as Julian Murch, Monica Calhoun as Mia Morgan, Melissa De Sosa as Shelby, and Regina Hall in her debut role as Candace, aka Candy. Made on a $9 million budget, this masterpiece was an absolute box office hit and made a well-deserved $35 million. Also named Outstanding Motion Picture at the 2000 NAACP Image Awards, with Nia Long also winning Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture and Terrence Howard winning Outstanding Supporting Actor.
I thank God for these wonderful, talented, black actors and actresses who put in tremendous work. They took to my script. They took me seriously. They put their trust in me as a first-time director. My producer, Sam Kitt, we butted heads numerous times, but it was all for the good of the film. I'm very proud of this film. I'm very proud of the NAACP to honor this film with this award. I'm really humbled.
So what do I love about this movie? Well, first off, I love the black representation. I will say now that the black representation for me in any film is always a plus. So you're gonna hear this a lot. But the black representation in this movie doesn't just stop at the starring actors or even the supporting ones. It spills over into each and every scene in their body language and certain colloquialisms that come naturally to the black community. But this wouldn't be too hard to convey due to the fact that the background actors, the director, and even one of the producers is black. Oh, and also cousins. Another thing I enjoyed was how no matter the drastic differences in each character's personality, the story was written in such a way to depict that the love and the bond that they share as a friend group outweighs their differences. But by far, I'm just say this now, by far, my favorite character in this movie is Quentin.
Everything okay here, fellas? Cool as a fucking fan, cat. What's going on?
Why do you have to do that?
Whose hand is it?
This cat is your man. 100 grand. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't do that to you, man. Karma don't come back that strong, L, baby.
Not only is the first time we meet Quentin this scene, but every single scene that this man is in is absolute gold. I'm talking swag on 10,000. Scouters is broken. and in my eyes, the coolest character in the movie. The thing is Quentin is depicted to be like that friend who keeps finding like new things and never really settling on one career or like even relationship. But that's most Gen Zers. Oh, come on. What did I say? I also like the depiction of Lance Sullivan. It's a very realistic take on a black male jock in the 90s. But they didn't stereotype him. They didn't make him an idiot. And he really wasn't even truly a bad person. He just simply had really bad habits.
I need your help, man. I need your help. I've called her, man. I haven't talked to her in over a week. I went by her house.
Lance. Okay, she's just upset.
No, she's upset.
Especially when she found out about those honeys at the Cotton Bowl.
I know. Damn it.
So what do I don't like about this movie? Well, I'll say right now that I love this movie. And I love everything about this movie. I have no dislikes. But on a filmmaker's level, I'm pretty sure I can nitpick and I can find something wrong with the film, like I can find something wrong with any film. But I'll just say this right now, that as an adult who watched this movie for this review, and someone who watched this as a child, I will say now that this movie is an absolute masterpiece. Is that Brian J. White? And if you thought it was, you were correct. Brian J. White, known for his role in Stomp the Yard among other films, made his acting debut as a background character attending the bachelor party and in the wedding. In an interview published in 2019, White recalls, and I quote, "I was in one of the scenes in the church and I cried because Morris Chestnut was doing such a good job acting and the camera caught me and they put me in about 20 more scenes. I was an extra, no lines," end quote. White maintained a friendly rapport with his co-stars Terrence Howard, Taye Diggs, and Morris Chestnut. And about 2 months later, he ran into those stars at a LA nightclub. There, a casting director by the name of Chimin Bernard asked about him being an actor, and with a cosign from his best man castmates, went on to audition the next day for a show Bernard was casting for. That show was Moesha. Also making her acting debut is Regina Hall, with a minor role, and is not featured in the opening credits, but goes on to be one of the main characters in the Best Man timeline, saying, quote, "All I had was one move," end quote. In her audition, she grabbed a chair, turned around, looked behind her, and slapped her butt. One of the producers, Sam Kitt, asked, quote, "Can you do anything else?" end quote. With her response being yes, then picking her jacket up and said thank you and left. Well, something got their attention because she landed that role, and lucky us she did. Nia Long slapping the hell out of Taye Diggs was mostly improvised. In an interview Long did, she expressed how difficult that scene was for her. She said it was very hard to get into the mind state she needed to be able to slap her co-star in an attempt to muster up all the feelings of her character, Jordan. Taye Diggs in the same interview says, "She slapped the out of me." Nia said that her inspiration for how she portrayed the character Jordan was a combination of two of her friends, one being a producer and the other being a public relations worker. Terrence Howard said in an interview that his character Quentin was loosely based on the real life of his co-star Harold Perrineau, saying Harold was a pimp before he got married and that Julian, Harold's character, was more close to his real life as he was dealing with his first wife at the time and wasn't necessarily happy. Malcolm D. Lee is in the Electric Slide. Malcolm D. Lee plays Tim Solfi in his own movie all the way at the end. He made a small cameo during the Electric Slide dance right before the end credits. So here are my final thoughts and recommendations. I want to start by saying that the wedding scene was shot and acted out extremely well. Morris Chestnut completely knocked this scene out of the park. You can physically see the emotions on everyone's faces, which brings this extra element of realism to the scene. And for some, this is the most iconic moment in the movie. The Best Man is an excellent film that truly embodies black love, friendship, and faith, truly depicting the struggles of those relationships and accurately portraying them on the screen. This movie was a hit and received rave reviews and so much love that the demand for a sequel came with the release of The Best Man Holiday a full 14 years later. And we will be reviewing this movie in the next video. So don't forget to please make sure you share this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, turn on those post notifications. It helps the channel tremendously, and you'll know every time BCR drops a new video.
Candy, come on, girl. Time to go get our eat on with IHOP.
I'm coming, all right?
Wish you hurry up. Damn.
Told you about hiring those college girls.
What? I told you to shut up, didn't I? Sit your ass in the back in it. Wait, girl, I'll bite it as hungry as I am.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm